Have you ever had a student flat out refuse to follow a simple direction, like you just asked them to donate a kidney? I remember standing in front of my class asking a student to sit down. Well, he looked at me dead in the eye and said, "Nah, I'm good," like we were peers, like I was the substitute and he was the boss. Well, that moment right there, that's when I realized that student defiance isn't just annoying. It's a full-on challenge to your authority, and if you don't know how to handle it early, it will eat you alive. Now, I learned that the hard way, but you don't have to. In this episode, I'm going to walk you through 3 proven strategies that will stop student defiance in its tracks without yelling, without you having to beg, or doing the death stare until your forehead cramps. You'll learn how to set the tone before the chaos even starts, redirect defiant behavior without giving away your power, and create a classroom system so strong that students can't help but respect it. Welcome to the Teacher RockStar podcast, the podcast that's dedicated to providing valuable insights, practical tips, and proven strategies. I'm your host, Steve Hiles, a veteran teacher, and today we're going to be tackling one of the biggest behavioral headaches in the classroom, and that's student defiance. So I need you to stick around because I'll also share what finally got that one kid, the one who treated my rules like suggestions, to finally start listening. And I think you'll be surprised. And no, it wasn't a fancy behavioral chart. Okay. All right. Now, here's the deal. Student defiance isn't usually about you. It's about power, theirs and not yours. And the way you respond either feeds the fire or, in fact, starves it. I learned this the hard way during my second year of teaching. A student who I'll call Marcus challenged everything, okay? I'd give an instruction and he'd cross his arms. I asked him to sit down, he'd stand. And every time I responded with more control, guess what? Well, he pushed even harder. According to a study from the American Psychological Association, power struggles in classrooms tend to escalate when teachers respond emotionally or punitively. Translation: if you take the bait, guess what? You lose the battle. Okay, so here's the first strategy I want to share with you. Set your tone early and stick to it. Be consistent. That means calmly and clearly stating your expectations before behavior has a chance to even show up. I call it the no surprise zone. It's when students know exactly what happens if they test the boundaries, and that you'll follow through every single time like clockwork, no exceptions. You're not just preventing problems, you're building credibility, the kind that makes students think twice. Are you a teacher who finds yourself drowning in the challenges of classroom management? Do student behaviors leave you feeling overwhelmed and drained at the end of each day? Picture this: a classroom where your students are not just present, but fully engaged, focused, and eager to learn. Say goodbye to classroom management stress and hello to success. The Teacher RockStar Academy course is meticulously designed to equip you with the tools and strategies needed to skyrocket your effectiveness as a teacher. Curious to know if the Teacher RockStar Academy course is the missing piece in your teaching journey? If you're ready to reclaim control of your classroom and witness the incredible impact on your students, then use the link in the podcast description to learn more about this program. I want to move on to point 2, the power of the private chat. Now, this is very, very important here. You might want to take this down, okay, for sure. Stop correcting defiant students in front of their peers. Seriously, just stop it. It feels like you're taking control, but what you're really doing is putting them on stage and giving them a script to fight back. Okay, think about it. You correct, let's say, Jamal in front of 25 of his classmates. I mean, what do you think is going to happen? He now has 2 choices. He could either back down and look weak or challenge you and look cool. Which one do you think a 13-year-old kid is going to pick? Okay, this is your pattern disrupt. Step off the stage. Shift the spotlight. Use the power of privacy. Instead of making it public, approach them quietly, lean in, and keep it brief. No lectures, no sarcasm, no sighing like you're auditioning for a soap opera. One time I asked a student to step into the hallway, not to punish him, but to ask what was really going on, okay? Because it wasn't like him, all right? It turns out he had zero sleep and was crashing hard. That private 2-minute chat changed everything. Remember, public defiance thrives on an audience. If you remove the audience, you remove the fuel, okay? Now, let's talk about point number 3. Control the environment, not just the student, okay? Here's something that nobody told me in my teacher preparation program, okay? You can't control a student, but you can control the system they operate in. Your procedures, your routines, your transitions, that's where your real power lives, okay? So let's go back to Marcus for a second. Once I tightened up the routines, like where to go, how to ask for help, and what to do when you finish your assignment, his behavior improved without me even having to address it. Why? Because I removed the chaos that gave him control. Defiance often grows in gaps in structure, gaps in expectations, gaps in follow-through, that consistency, okay? When students don't know what's coming next, what do you think will happen? They will create their own rules. And when your room runs on predictable systems, it's like setting up bumpers in a bowling alley. They can still throw a wild ball, but guess what? It won't land in the gutter, okay, if you get my meaning. So the third strategy, build an invisible structure. Make your classroom so consistent that defiance has no room to breathe at all. So let's step back to Marcus, the defiant student who made me question my career path. What changed? I did, okay? I stopped reacting, started setting firm boundaries early, had private check-ins instead of public power plays, and built rock-solid systems that he could rely on. He stopped testing me, not because I got louder, but because I got more predictable. And that was the game changer, okay? Now, my friend, you currently have 3 tools that you can use at your disposal. Set your tone early. Correct privately, not publicly. Control the system, not the student. Use them, and you'll not only survive student defiance, you'll transform it into trust. Okay? Well, that's a wrap for us today. If this episode gave you a new way to think about student behavior, do me a favor, share it with a fellow teacher who might be battling the same situation. Okay? And that being said, we will see you same time, same place next week. And remember, my friend, you got this.
You've been listening to the Teacher RockStar podcast with your host, Steve Hiles. We hope you've enjoyed this podcast as much as we have. Make sure to hit that subscribe button and join our ever-growing community of Teacher RockStars. Until then, thanks for listening.